Good evening and welcome to Space Oddities. How is everybody? Thank you so much for being here tonight. As you probably gather by now, it's quiz night here on Space Oddities, and we hope that we can give you a fun night. But not only have we got quiz night, we've got a lot of other stuff in the program as well. So we could be in for a long program today. But thank you so much for being here. We wish you all the very best of luck in the quiz. I should point out it's only for fun. It's only a bit of fun. So we are offering a small prize for tonight's quiz. Daz, would you like to tell our viewers all about the prize that they could win? Ooh.
I know. Yeah. What we're offering tonight is this. It's part of the tourism poster from NASA. I hope you can see that. And this one is for Titan. As you can see, the poster at the top. I don't know if you can see that. There's some people in boats and in the background, and there's a little bit about. It's a bit too small to be seen. So if you come out top dog, it's way to you.
Smashing. Thank you very much, Daz. And we should point out we haven't got ourselves together this month to do our normal monthly competition, and that'll be back next month. So this is in lieu of the monthly prize. You could win that glorious full colour, no expense bed poster of Titan to frame and put in your bathroom. So good luck, everybody. That's all I want to say. So anyway, we're going to start the program off in the time-honoured tradition of talking to the man who's been out comet hunting this week. So, Roger, what have you got for us this week?
Well, apart from the comets, a few other interesting items as well. So here we go for 23rd to 29th of January. Gosh, first month nearly done and dusted.
Yeah.
So at the moment, we've just come from the weekend with a new moon, and we're heading up to next week's first quarter. And this was a few hours ago, where we've got the setting crescent moon with Venus and Saturn ahead of it before it disappears down below the horizon. And it's obviously better to see, obviously, with your naked eyes than this picture here, but it gives you an impression of how close they are at the moment in the night sky. And obviously tomorrow they'll be probably the other side of the moon. Anyway, that's by and by.
Nice image.
I'll give you today's image of the sun, and as you can see, the giant, huge spot, which is 6 by 5 Earth sizes in on the surface there. 3091 group will be just visible for tomorrow, and then away round the corner she'll be. So it was certainly an honor to see such a great big sunspot. I've not seen one as big as that since I've started my astronomy in the last few years. So obviously the solar maximum has provided some rather interesting details.
And there may be bigger ones yet to come. Who knows?
Well, yeah, I mean, it might come round the other side again and be even bigger again.
Indeed.
Who knows?
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
I've just snooked this one in. This is the Flaming Star Nebula, which I did 2 nights ago. And that was rather interesting. It's probably one of the interesting ones that I've got with the Optilong Ultimate filter. So there's a bit of a promotion. I was quite interested to see how much detail there was between the Tadpoles galaxy, which is just down in the bottom left corner, and this other nebula. So it's obviously picked up rather a lot of detail there.
Yes, beautiful. Love the colour.
I'm sure Rachel could make that multicolored.
Yeah, without even thinking about it, the wave of her wand.
Yeah.
Our next target is the tadpoles, so hold tight for that one.
Okay. Right. Okay. Obviously, with the comet now getting up earlier, these charts I'm just going to show you over the next 7 nights are for midnight. Oh, that's an old one. What is that there? That's the wrong one. Oh dear. Seems to have got a bit muddled up here. What's happened to the slides? Anyway, we've got the comet coming up now between Draco and Ursa Minor in the next week. So that will be an easier object to look at from late, about 11 o'clock to midnight. You should be able to see it a lot easier from about that time anyway. So there we go. And here we are. Here's the graph from the 23rd to the 29th of this next 7 days to give you an idea. Passing through Draco as we speak. And the forecast by the 1st of February will become just about naked eye visibility from a reasonably clear dark sky. So I might have a chance in Spartford.
If anybody will have a chance, Roger, it will be you, of course.
It will be me. This is a still image from last night of the comet, and up about the 1 o'clock position is a edge-on spiral galaxy NGC 5907, which is in the constellation of Draco. And if I can share my screen, I will give you a time lapse of the actual image. But if it's going to give me a lose my picture, I don't know whether it will mess things up. Right, I'm just going to share it now.
Okay.
And here we go. Now, each one of these, there's 16 frames. Each frame was a combination stack picture of 20 minutes worth of images. So consequently, the comets, because that stack frame, it has moved its position. So it's a little bit wider. It gives you an idea of
That's wonderful, Roger.
how
Well done
much
indeed.
that has actually moved. Hmm.
You must have got very cold.
One night that I wasn't too bad. Right. Okay.
Well done.
So, Roger, on your beautiful image of the comet, I'm really envious that you've taken this. It's such a beautiful image. There are two tails. Can we go into more detail as to why this comet has two tails, one actually opposite each other?
Call an anti-tail, the one that's ahead of it, so to speak.
Yes.
I'm not quite sure.
Yes.
The reasoning why it's tail ahead of it, but I'm not.
I think.
Oh, Roger has.
I think we've lost Roger there.
Left us, unfortunately. Don't worry, we'll get Roger back. He will be returning very shortly. Just while we're waiting for Roger, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our sponsor, Rother Valley Optics, for helping us out with the show, and your support, as always, is much appreciated. While we're waiting for Roger, why don't we go over to Rachel for the gallery, and we can pick up with Roger a bit later. Is that okay with you, Rachel?
Yep, let's go.
Okay, right. Okay, 1 second. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Okay, so let's there you are, and let's put your gallery up there and do that. There we are. Okay.
Thank you. So we've got a huge gallery tonight because it's a combination of 2 weeks, but it's a real good mix of all sorts, really. So to start off, we've got a picture taken by Sonia Turkington, which she's done with a Google Pixel smartphone, which she attaches to her 10-inch Dobsonian. So here's the moon that she took on the 8th of Jan.
Oh, that's lovely. Look at that.
Mm.
That's beautiful.
That's almost 3D, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got like a real HDR effect, hasn't it? But it's Again, all things you can
Yeah,
do with a mobile
yeah.
phone, so you don't need all the gear.
No, absolutely.
Very nice.
You might need some idea though.
Yeah, I'm not sure I have that yet. We've got one from Chris, which is the Horsehead Nebula and the Flame. This is one of his favourite targets. He tried a few times to capture this, but poor weather had got in the way. But this is an integration of his hydrogen alpha filters. So it's just a lovely black and
Oh,
white.
wow. Look at that. Chris,
It's
that's
really lovely.
amazing. That's truly amazing. I say this about all our readers' images, viewers' images, of course, but it's always true. They're all incredible images.
Yeah, there's
It's
a real
actually-
good selection.
Yeah, and it's actually nice to see this in black and white, because most of the time we see it in color, and it seems like some of the structures and the details come out better in black and white.
Yes,
It's
indeed.
really lovely. Then we have one from Jerry. This is the Monkey Head Nebula. And he's taken this on a one-shot color camera with the Extreme filter.
Wow.
Which I think this is again, it's one of those that feels really 3D. You feel like you can just.
That's not a nebula I'm familiar with, the Monkey Head. Where is it?
I'm trying to think where the Monkey Head is. It's obviously in our hemisphere, but I can't think off the top of my head which constellation it's in. I know it's one we want to do but haven't yet.
Yeah, the monkey head is just above its shoulders, Andy.
Well, yes, makes sense. Thank you, Daz.
I'll find out for you and we'll pop it in the chat.
Mhm.
Oh, Chris has just arrived late, but he's just missed his image, but we all saw it, Chris.
Yeah, we all saw your image, Chris. It's fantastic.
Did you just say where it was, Mary?
Yeah, it's in Orion.
All right,
Oh,
there you go.
right.
Thank you. I did not know that.
No, I didn't know that either. I'm going to have to go looking for that.
Then we've got another one by Jerry. So this is the Christmas tree and the Cone Nebula. Again, using the same camera and filter.
Oh,
which I do. I really like this one. I've never managed to go back and get it properly myself, but it's one of those images that I'm desperate to get. So
that is beautiful.
jealous of this one.
Look at that. Nice one, Jerry.
Then we have The Sun by Kevin. And Kevin always gives us loads of information. So he said this is the largest prominence he's ever imaged to date. He's processed and shared the prominence on its own last year. He's used this data to create the full disk. So it's now a full image. Which is
That prominence is amazing, yeah.
Whopper,
so
isn't
much
it?
detail.
Do you reckon that's
Amazing
about,
image.
what, 10 Earths in there, in the middle of there, in that gap, in that arc?
I think
Center?
way more. I'm thinking about the solar ruler. That's got to be probably 100,000 kilometers tall,
Ooh.
Wow.
Wow.
thereabouts.
Stunning.
Okay, then we have. I don't know if you want to talk through yours, Mary, because you're here, which will be nice.
Yeah, I've actually imaged the sun again with a proper telescope since the big region rotated into view, but this was just with a 300mm zoom lens with a homemade solar filter. We used Astro Solar film and made homemade filters to take on our eclipse trip in 2017. So yeah, it was just took I think a couple of hundred images and just stacked the best ones. So yeah, you don't need a telescope to image the sun, you just need a proper solar filter.
Wow.
That's incredible. Is that large sunspot we were talking about on the western
Yes,
limb?
it was just rotating on the eastern limb there, and it's obviously now on the opposite side and rotated away. This is from a couple of weeks ago, 10 days ago, something like that.
That's a really nice demonstration of how sunspots usually occur in pairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And then we've got some lovely sketches, I believe, now. So again, Mary, if you want to, you're the best person to describe how you've done all this.
I saw a photograph that Steve Knight shared that was taken with a 12-inch Dobsonian of the sunrise over Gassendi, and the contrast between the shadow and the bit that was just catching the sunlight just instantly made me drop everything and create a sketch of it. I just had to. it was just beautiful. So yeah, black paper and Stabilo, Carbothello, white pastel pencil. That's all I used. Didn't take very long actually, but
Oh, look at
it's
that.
Just amazing.
so beautiful.
So good.
I mean, the photograph was beautiful. I'm not saying that about my own sketch. I had to draw that when I saw it.
Wow.
This might be a
Yeah.
good opportunity just to remind people about your sketching workshop, Mary, on Space Oddities on February the 7th at 6:30 p.m. UK time. We will not be streaming this live on YouTube because of the way Mary organises her workshops. It's really not suitable for live streaming. So if you would like to join Mary's sketching workshop and learn how to do things like this, which are just insane, if you ask me, then do drop us a line, drop us an email at spaceodditieslive@gmail.com, and we will send you the link for the Zoom, because Mary will be running the workshop over Zoom. So as long as you've got access to Zoom and you've got a webcam and microphone and paper and pen, eraser, and a cotton bud for blending, then you can come and join in the workshop, and it would be a great honour to have you. So if you'd like to join in Mary's sketching workshop, it's on the 7th of February at 6:30 UK time over Zoom. Send an email to spaceodditieslive@gmail.com and we will send you the Zoom details. Great, that's lovely, Mary. Well done.
So the next
then
sketch
you again, Mary.
yeah, it's
Again.
my husband made me a parallelogram mount for my big binoculars for Christmas as a surprise, and this was my first opportunity to actually go out and use it in anger. And so it's very different sketching at the eyepiece from drawing from photographs, because obviously you don't get the resolution. This was the most frustrating sketch ever, because the minute I got set up, it was a crystal clear sky, put 4 stars on, clouded over, and I sat there for an hour and 20 minutes adding 1 star at a time through tiny cloud gaps. And that's why it's not a full star field, because after that I'm like, I'm done with this. Went in, packed everything up, and then of course it cleared again. But it's just nice that the Orion Nebula looks more like a bat when you see it in this sort of magnification. It was beautiful. So again, black paper, pastel pencils, and a Posca paint pen.
It's really good. It really is.
I think I could have done the stars.
No, they're really lovely. Thank you, Mary.
Well done, Mary. Brilliant.
Thank you.
Then we've got some by Andy. Now, Andy wanted to send in 2 because I think he sort of wanted a user poll, sort of our opinion on it. So he's got 2 images of the Tadpole Nebula, which is in Auriga, I believe, and he would like us to know which one we prefer. So in the chat or amongst the panel, if you want to think of left or right.
Oh, wow.
I'm really torn, because I am naturally drawn to more of a bluey golden Hubble palette, but actually I do really like the one on the left as well.
I think I would have to go
It's
for
hard
the
to
one
choose, isn't it?
There's more drama on the left, but there's more. I think the matches of colors on the right works better. So
Yeah, I prefer the one on the
instinctively
right.
I would say right.
Yeah.
Me
The
too.
dynamic range is greater on the right side.
Yeah.
And I just think the tadpoles actually just pop out a little bit more. They feel a little bit lost in the left, whereas I think you can really see them glowing there on the right. So it looks like it's a very hard right, Andy, if you watch this or if you're here. But I think the panel and the chat seems to be all about the right.
Harold says both are great, and he's not wrong.
Yeah, if I took either, I'd be very happy.
Yeah.
I imaged Hamish Flaming Star recently. It doesn't look anything like this.
So, okay, then we have one by Chris. This is a wide field of Mars between the Hyades and the Pleiades. So he's done this with a DSLR and his 35mm lens.
Oh, beautiful.
Nice.
That's good.
Lovely.
It's beautiful. A little bit more down to earth now. We've zoomed right back out.
One of those occasions where a bit of thin cloud helps the image, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it always adds a little bit to it. So very
And,
nice, Chris.
Steve has joined us in the chat, Steve Orbis, and Steve says the image on the right had more contrast. So
Hi,
welcome,
Steve.
let's get you back on the show as soon as we possibly can.
Let's.
Yeah. I mean, on this image, we've like I say the Pleiades and the Hyades, or the Hades, or whatever you like to call them. But of course, they're both open clusters. But they're getting to the stage now, the Hyades, where they actually might take away its designation as a cluster because they've opened up so far now that they don't think that it'll actually count as a cluster. Yeah, it's a very old cluster, and they've drifted apart, whereas the Pleiades are still quite young stars and they're still in quite a tight formation. Although there's about 100 stars in that Pleiades cluster, although we can't see them all. And one of the eye tests is if whether or not you can see all the brighter stars. I think it's 7. If you can see all 7, you're well in. I can do 6.
Then we've got another by Chris, so another wide field. This is of Orion, and he took this on Sunday again through thin cloud. But that he likes it because it gives the stars a sort of a glowing effect.
Oh, that's nice.
Again, it just adds, the cloud adds a nice little bit of texture and drama to the background.
It brings out the star colour as well, a bit of thin cloud I've found when I photograph Orion.
Yeah, well, I know a lot of people who just go for sort of the wide field, they use a double fog filter, because that does help as well, make the stars a bit softer but a little bit more prominent. So that's really lovely.
Yeah. I mean, look at Betelgeuse there. It's absolutely all
super orange. We've got another one by Sonia. So Sonia's taken a night sky image on her DSLR this time, which is a 30-second exposure, and just edited on Google Photos. So again, I'm guessing we've got the Pleiades at the top. I'm guessing it's Mars again, and then Taurus underneath. Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sorry, where does she? Sorry, is that Maria? Sorry, I didn't catch her name.
Sonia.
Sonia, sorry. Where does she live? Where did she take that picture from?
She's around Stockport way, isn't she? I think I want to say.
So Manchester area somewhere.
Yeah.
And despite being in that Manchester area, I mean, there's a lot of stars, in that sky. It's not. I would have expected it to be more light polluted if it's near Manchester, but yeah, very good.
Yeah, really
it's
well
quite
done.
Monochromatic, isn't it? And I really like that. We all kind of boost the colour quite a lot, and sometimes dialing it back can give you a lot of drama.
You've got, I think, another one by Sonia. So she's gone for the Orion Nebula. And again, she's done this with her smartphone on her Dob, and just edited in Google Photos.
Gosh, it's amazing what you do with a smartphone, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
The pixels are really good. I've been having Google Pixels for years now, and the images are just remarkable. So, yeah.
And I think there's about the same amount of stars there as on yours, Mary. I can see them all.
If not more, actually.
Which is lovely. So thank you, Sonia. Then we've got another one by Kev. We've got the comet. So he said this was the first image of the comet he's done, and the first time he's tried to double stack on the comets. So this is a fast mover. So apparently the double stacking and composition is needed to freeze both the comet and the background stars. Otherwise, obviously, you'd get trails in one. So, which is a lovely image.
Indeed.
So thank you, Kev. Then we've got another Orion. I don't know why it says the comet at the top, but it's not. It's from Orion by Mike Hall. And this is a single sub of 10 seconds. And I know Mike's just got his star guider and things running. This is the first time he's had a try, so he's really catching the astro bug now. He's got a red head torch and everything, so he's starting the astro bug. So here's his version of Orion.
Lovely colour.
Welcome to the dark side.
No, it was like it's a very expensive and slippery slope now.
Beautiful colour.
Yeah, really nice. And really good polar alignment, because I said, that is really hard to get yourself right with that. You sort of have to get that first. And yeah, he's done a really good job. And then, because Roger shows his, I've got to put mine and Johnny's in. So we finally, after we showed you our observatory build the other day, we got our first image with our mono camera using the ZWO Pro 294, and we've used the 3 nanometer Optron filters. So it's around 12.5 hours integration. And this one's definitely got the contrast and colour up, Mary. This is not a dialed down one.
It's gorgeous.
And there is our first ever mono image, so we're quite happy with that, of the Heart Nebula.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
I mean, we've done this target a lot, but the difference in the detail, I think just the sensitivity of the filters of the mono stuff is just, it makes such a difference. So yeah, and I think that is our whopping huge gallery for the week.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you for putting all that together, as always. Much appreciated. And thank you to our viewers for sending in the incredible images that we get every week. We're always dumbfounded, aren't we, at the amount of skill that goes into acquiring these images. And you're all very talented. That's what I want. That's all I want to say. If you would like to submit your images, please send them to us at the usual email address, spaceodditieslive@gmail.com, and they'll be included in the weekly gallery. We would ask you, if you can, to send one image per email, please, so that Rachel can find them easily enough and deal with the organisation of them in our inbox. So thank you for that. Moving on, we are getting to the quiz. So those of you who are waiting for the quiz, we are going to get there. But we've got quite a program tonight. We will be starting the quiz after this next segment. And this next segment, a few odds and sods from me this week. There's been a new discovery about something we've talked about quite a bit on Space Oddities, which is the TRAPPIST system. As you may know, the TRAPPIST-1 system is a system of exoplanets about 40 light years away. They're all, as far as we can tell, rocky worlds. All of them are very close to the star. All of them would be inside the orbit of Mercury in our own solar system, but that doesn't matter because the star is a red dwarf star. It's very cool, and therefore there's no problem with the planets being that close to the star. So what is the new news about TRAPPIST? Well, what they've discovered is, just give me 1 second to move to the next slide, that the density of all of those rocky worlds is about the same. And this is a real head scratcher because astronomers don't understand how you can have 7 rocky planets that have all got around the same density. And in this diagram, you can see that, let me just make that a bit bigger so that you can see it. The densities of the planets in the solar system are shown here, the rocky planets as a comparison. And you've got the density of Venus, Earth, Moon, Mars, and Mercury there. And as you can see, they are actually all quite different. In our solar system, the rocky planets have quite considerably different densities. But in the TRAPPIST system, they're all about the same, give or take. And there doesn't appear to be an easy explanation as to how this could happen. Now, one of the explanations says, well, they've all got roughly the same composition with the same size iron cores, and this means that 2 of them might very well be water worlds with no solid land surface, just a global ocean to account for that because of their size. The basic idea is that nobody really knows at the moment, and we've never seen a planetary system like this where all the rocky planets have about the same density. So that is a bit of a head scratcher at the moment, and astronomers don't really know why that is. Any immediate thoughts on that, Bernard? Because I know we've talked about this.
Yeah, this is new to me, and it just goes to show how much this system is going to be of interest for us for many months and many years to come with the JWST observations.
Absolutely.
This is so
a
interesting.
Strange thing. Lou, do you have any thoughts about this?
Well, yes, I have a few. I think when you get the mass of the central star, that falls out pretty straightforwardly. But to get the mass of and therefore density of planets orbiting, I think some assumptions have to be made. So I kind of wonder about that. The other is that these planets all formed, as you said, within what would be the orbit of Mercury, and so their distance from their star is very, very close to the same. So you wouldn't get that same kind of variation as you would in our solar system, which is far more spread out. So those are just a couple of thoughts. And then, of course, there's always the random motion and the chance collisions and the grand tack models of things and so on. So it's interesting, and I would wonder if we could find other solar systems like this.
And indeed, and I think it just goes to show that when we're looking at exoplanet systems, we really should stop trying to compare them with our own solar system, because I think one thing that is becoming quite apparent is that our solar system is in its own way unique, and indeed all of these star systems may be unique, and there may not be that many things in common between them. Excellent. Okay. So, what now? So, I'd like to talk to you about just this amazing discovery at Andromeda. Now, this is the M31, the famous Andromeda galaxy, between 2 and 2.5 million light years away. Opinions vary. There you have the galaxy itself. This is in hydrogen and oxygen light. So, what you're seeing are supernova remnants and things like that, and star clusters. And the discovery is this strange thing here. This has been discovered by amateur astronomers, believe it or not, and it's never been seen before, even though when you look at this image, it's perfectly obvious that it's there. And it was discovered by 3 German amateur astronomers called Strottner, Drexler, probably making a mangle of that, Sainty, and it's called, after their names, SDO Object 1. Now, this is a bright emission object. This only appeared, here's one for you astrophotographers, this only appeared after 111 hours of integration. And it's some sort of massive structure. But as yet, we don't know whether it's within our own galaxy, whether it's between the galaxies, or whether it's actually part of the Andromeda galaxy system itself. One suggestion is that this is a bow shock wave caused by the galactic halos of our own Milky Way galaxy and the Andromeda galaxy touching, which they are at the moment, even though we're still separated by millions of light years. That's one suggestion, but the fact that this has never been seen even by the biggest telescopes in the world, and it was discovered by amateurs, is really quite something. That's quite an amazing discovery, isn't it, guys?
Yeah, and I would say that Andromeda being probably the most photographed and unobserved galaxy, and we're still discovering some new things. Looking towards Andromeda is just amazing. Fantastic.
It is. So obviously further observations are now in progress to establish exactly where it is, how far away it is, and thus how big it is. But the basic answer is astronomers haven't got a clue at the moment what exactly we're looking at. So
and was this shot in visible light? Just
no, in hydrogen and oxygen.
Okay, the filters are hydrogen oxygen filters.
Yeah. But there doesn't. This is mainly in oxygen. There's very little actual hydrogen in it, apparently. So it's a bit of a puzzler, that one. Look at that. Amazing.
I wonder how many astrophotographers have processed that out, thinking it's an artifact.
Yeah, I wonder. Oh, don't say that. Okay, so that's
Andy. There's a comment. Alan Kennedy says there was also a new jet from the center, another to the left side.
Oh, really? Oh, that's. Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah. So, exciting times as always. Okay, just moving on now, because we want to get on to the quiz. I'd like to talk to you about something canine. I'd like to talk to you about AstroDog. As you may know, at Space Oddities, we've made it one of our ambitions of this year to help astronomy societies, groups, clubs, whatever, out with publicising their events. And this week's is a featured one called AstroDog. And what's AstroDog all about? Well, AstroDog is a small astronomy and astrophotography business based in Scarborough. They run public stargazing events at Dalby Forest, or Dalby Forest, I should pronounce it probably, set within the heart of the International Dark Sky Reserve of the North York Moors National Park. And that is one of only 19 international dark sky reserves in the world. Well, the fact there are only 19 is quite shameful, as we know. And they are passionate about astronomy, astrophotography, our dark skies, and teaching people about the wonders of the universe. And some of the things they get up to are public stargazing events in Dalby Forest. They, as well, as astronomy and astrophotography journalism via their Facebook page. Also, STEM outreach, something we're obviously quite keen on. They offer educational sessions for school scouts, guides, and other groups with talks, presentations, and planetarium dome films. Solar stargazing sessions, and they can cater for all groups and ages. And night sky photography and astrophotography. And they also do private hire birthday parties and large group events. And all of their events can be booked as private events. So AstroDog do a lot of activities, and obviously they are deserving of your support. And they've got a lot of night sky observing sessions coming up, and all the time basically. There's a lot of night sky observing going on with AstroDog this winter. So you can get in touch with them if you would like to join any of their observing sessions. How do you do that? Well, you go to their website, astro-dog.co.uk, or you can contact them via their Facebook group, which you can find easily enough on Facebook. But if you can't, you can go directly to facebook.com/astrodoguk. So thank you for telling us all about yourselves, AstroDog, and we wish you all the best. And we hope that people here will be interested who are in the area, or maybe not even in the area, to come and check you out. So all the very best of luck with that. And just a reminder, if you would like to advertise your club or society or their events, just drop us an email at spaceodditieslive@gmail.com, or as ever, you can find us on our Facebook page, which is Space Oddities. If you can't find that, the address is facebook.com/groups/Space Oddities. And we'd love to help you out, publicize your events and whatever, if you are a member of an astronomy club, society, or group. So there you are. So that's all from me. Now what we're going to do, we are going to
Andy, just a quick one. There's talking about promoting things. There's Chris Reardon's talking about who's going to the European Astrofest, and he's talking. I just want to remind people that Rother Valley Optics, our sponsors, will be there. So if anyone's popping along, just pop in, see them, and just mention our names. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
And I will be there on Saturday, actually. So if you're interested to meet up, like I've just messaged to Chris.
Oh, you're going, are you? Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm meeting my publisher there.
Oh, yes, that's right.
It's flying from the States to go, and so we'll meet up and have
absolutely.
chats.
Yes. And by the way, as regards the SDSO object, that new object north of Andromeda, Steve Warbius asked if it could be a Verwerp object like Hani's Verwerp above the supermassive black hole's pole, and it could be. We don't know at the moment, Steve. So exciting times. We'll have to wait and see exactly what that strange object is. Okay, let's move on with the quiz. So welcome to tonight's quiz. Finally, what we're going to do, we're going to go around our panel. Each of the panel is going to pose you 3 questions. And then we'll have a break in the middle, and then we'll add up all the scores at the end. So pens and papers at the ready. Don't forget you can win that lovely poster of Titan, and we're going to rely on you to be honest with your scores, of course. So there we are. So I'll start with my 3. Question 1 in the quiz. Where is the coldest place yet measured in the solar system? Where is the coldest place yet measured in the solar system? And I'll give you some alternatives. Is it A, the moon, B, Triton, moon of Neptune? Is it Pluto or is it Uranus? So is the coldest place yet measured in the solar system the moon, Triton, Pluto, or Uranus? And that is 1 point for that. 1 point. Question 2. What links the following? The Harlington Straker Film Studios, Kenneth Arnold, Devil's Tower in Wyoming, and the Mall in Washington, D.C. I'll just repeat that. What links the following? Harlington Straker Film Studios, Kenneth Arnold, Devil's Tower, Wyoming, and the Mall in Washington, D.C. We will have a quick recap at the end of all the questions, of course. And question 3, my last question. Simple question. How many known moons of Jupiter are there? And I will give you 3 either way on that. Let's be generous. 3 either way. To the nearest 3, how many known moons of Jupiter are there? Okay, let's move on. So on my screen, the next person is Rachel. Rachel, would you like to give us your questions?
Go on then. I feel like I've been much nicer than everyone else. Yours been really tricky already. So to start off nice and easy, and Roger, you're not allowed to play. Which moon phase would follow a waxing crescent? So which moon phase would follow a waxing crescent? And all in Sparkford because it's always clear. And then number 2, the IAU broke up one of the oldest, largest constellations, Argo Navis, into 4 separate parts. Can you name all the 4 individual constellations that it was split up into? So I guess it should be 1 point for each of those. So 4 points available. The IAU broke up Argo Navis into 4 separate parts. Can you name all 4?
Rachel, you said you were being nice?
Yeah. So what's Roger going to be like?
Yeah.
You know, I'm a constellation nut. This is the sort of stuff I teach my kids, and I'm like, you need to know this before you times tables. Number 3, Sirius is the brightest star in the night sky, but which is the second brightest star?
Ooh, let's see.
So Sirius is the brightest, but which is the second brightest?
The anti-Sirius.
Sirius 2.
Yes.
And that is my 3 questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, coming now to Bernard.
Yes, I've put a little presentation on. So,
Oh yes, hang on, just give me a second, Bernard. Let me find that and bring it forth.
It's version 2.
Right, okay. Just give me 1 second. My computer is slowing down here for some peculiar reason. But just give me a second, and we'll get it up on the screen.
It's Monday for everyone, and
it's Monday for everybody. There we are.
Here we go. So, question number 1: numerous surface features on Titan are named after great works of science fiction and fantasy. Which author below didn't have his work chosen as some of the names? So, A is Tolkien, J.R.R. Tolkien. B is Frank Herbert, and C is Arthur C. Clarke. So, which one of these writers have not had their work listed as on the surface features of Titan? All right, second question. What is the name? I'm going to be super easy on this one. What is the name of the spacecraft that whizzed by the moon Triton? We have A, New Horizons, B, Pioneer 11, C, Voyager 2. And my question number 3 is: Ceres is the largest asteroid in the asteroid belt. How much of the estimated total mass of the asteroid belt does it represent? Is it A, 25%, B, 40%, see 55%.
Great.
Voilà.
Thank you very much, Bernard. Okay. Right. How are we doing for time? Okay. What we're going to do now, we'll take a break after those three and have the remaining four after the break. And in the break, believe it or not, we're going back to Bernard. Bernard, you've got some wonderful news for us, I think.
Oh yes, I do. So let's put back that presentation, Andy. Yeah. So I've been involved.
I think you'll have to reload it because you can only have one loaded at a time.
Oh dear, that's
So
fine.
I'll kill this one for you. Hang on.
Yeah, it's fine. Let me upload it back again. So basically, I've been involved with this astronomy society in Nottinghamshire for many years, and I'm one of their contributing editors. It's the Mansfield and Sutton Astronomy Society, and they are the ones who are overseeing the Sherwood Observatory, the second biggest telescope that is made available to the public in the UK. And it's a great telescope. If you're in that area in North Nottinghamshire, definitely go and check it out. The Sherwood Observatory and the Society they're just amazing folks. And basically we had some great news recently. Let me try and see whether I can re-upload this. There we go. Andy, can you see if you can re-upload
just give me
that
one
slide?
second.
And basically for many years now, we've been trying to work on a new project. Basically, the society purchased the land next to the observatory, which contains an old Victorian reservoir, and the idea has been to convert that reservoir and still keep sort of the heritage into a planetarium and a science discovery center. And for many years, we've been working on this project and trying to get funds, and it's worth, well, we need millions of pounds. And the great news is on Friday we've had the announcement that the UK government is going to grant us £3.1 million for us to continue, and carry on with this project, the science discovery project and planetarium.
That's brilliant. By the way, Bernard, you reloaded your quiz questions.
Yes, but if you go, it's fine. It's on the fourth slide.
Oh, sorry. Can you just reload it? Sorry, I thought it was two separate presentations.
No, I was very
You're confusing me. Mind you, at my age, I'm very easily confused.
And so basically, we only still need only a million. But now that we've had 3.1 million plus other funds that have been granted to us, it really is hopefully just a matter of time now until we manage to acquire the right amount of funds to be able to build this planetarium. And I hope I will be able to get the project manager of this planetarium and science discovery to come on the show and talk a bit more about it in detail, because it's going to be just a fantastic new initiative in the North Nottinghamshire for anyone interested in space and science. So it just goes to show that, all you need to do is just have a bunch of passionate astronomers, amateur astronomers, to get together, and sometimes things like this do take shape and do happen. So I think it's just a great message for all the budding astronomers out there that you can definitely make a difference within wherever you live.
Definitely. That's wonderful. Thank you so much, and many congratulations to you and the society for acquiring this amount of money. It just goes to show that, as you say, that if you really want things to happen, you can make them happen.
Years in the work, but it's happening now, so it's
great. Absolutely, yeah. Fantastic. Okay. And also, Bernard, you wanted to just tell us a little bit about some news about Psyche. Is this correct?
Yes, and that was the next slide in my presentation that you just killed, but that's fine. That's fine. Don't worry. So we don't need to re-upload it. So we all know.
No, so I'll just put it back on the screen.
We've all been talking about Psyche in the last few weeks, and especially last week, where we went into more detail as to the delay that JPL, incurred in relation to this mission, and how they had to shift their staff around in order to make sure that it was going to take place. And unfortunately, that had sort of a domino effect on other space missions that the JPL is currently working on, such as Veritas. I just wanted to point out, just to carry on this conversation or this discussion that we had last week, that the director of JPL, newly appointed Laurie Leshin, which joined JPL in May 2022, she was interviewed by the Planetary Society. They have a monthly podcast called Space Policies, which is very interesting for anyone interested in space missions and space policy in general. And she basically said something, and I thought it was interesting to share here. She said that yes, it is a big problem. We've been having to shift staff around in order to ensure that these missions are going to take place. But she sort of shaped it in a way that it was a good problem to have. And the reason why it's a good problem to have is that this is basically the result of two changes within the industry. The first change is that the budget of the planetary science department at NASA has been growing, year on year, and suddenly they have more funds in order to develop more missions. And the second, and in parallel, the private space industry has picked up significantly, as we've been discussing about throughout the weeks. And of course, because of that, it's been taking a lot of the staff out of JPL, which would have never happened 20 years ago. And let's not forget that the private initiatives was developed and shaped by the U.S. Congress and NASA as an initiative to boost Americans' competitiveness in space industry.
Indeed.
And so basically, this is basically the result of two positive trends within the American space science and space exploration, and unfortunately, it has a knock-on effect on JPL. But in the long term, it is positive. And Lou, maybe you have more comments on this.
I don't. But beautifully presented.
Oh, okay, because I saw you were shaking your head, so I thought maybe you wanted to add more. But anyway, I mean, this is what Laurie Leshin, the director of JPL, had to say about it, and I thought it was, yes, it's frustrating because we all want these missions to go out on time. We don't want cancellation of missions and all that, but in the long term, let's look at the glass half full, and this is just overall this is a positive move for space exploration.
Absolutely. And of course, we were talking about the report that came out before Christmas about JPL and the problems at JPL, which JPL, to be fair, have acted upon immediately, and all the project management and organizational problems. So this is good news. This is really good news. So that goes against a slightly negative feeling of that report. So there we are. Thank you very much for that, Bernard. We will move swiftly on to part 2 of the quiz. How did you get on with part 1, viewers? And has anybody walked out and discussed yet? Anybody killed themselves? Looks like everybody's still here who was here. Okay, so part 2 of the quiz. We move swiftly on with Lou. Lou, can we have your questions?
Okay, well, let's go back to moons of the solar system. How many moons does Saturn have?
Ah,
3 options here. Yes. We'll do a plus or minus 3 like we did before. Is it 32, 75, or 83?
32, 75, or 83 moons of Saturn are there?
Moving on, Titan. Titan, its primary atmosphere, the greatest constituent in the atmosphere is what? Is it nitrogen, carbon dioxide, or methane? And I said methane because that's how you guys say it. We say methane.
Thank you. We do appreciate that, Lou. You're learning.
Translating in my head all the time. All right, nitrogen, CO2, or methane. Third
And that was
question,
Titan, yes?
and that's Titan, right?
Yes. Interesting. Interesting.
Third question. Albert Einstein was once asked, how does it feel to be the smartest person in the world? And Einstein replied, I don't know. Go ask. Was it Marie Curie? Was it Nikola Tesla? Or was it Richard Feynman?
Interesting.
Very humble response, I thought.
Einstein was nothing if not humble.
Good guy.
I've read this lovely story about Einstein, which is almost certainly not true, but I thought it was funny, about when he went to his local station in Germany to buy a train ticket, and he said, "Tell me, does Berlin stop at this train?" Well, please yourselves, I thought it was funny. Okay, right. Thank you for that. Thank you very much, Lou. Okay, Mary, over to you, my darling. What about your quiz questions?
Okay, so number 1, who was the first female astronomer to discover a comet?
Ooh, now that's a good question. Who was the first female astronomer to discover a comet?
Was it you?
I wish.
Self-promotion, perhaps? Okay.
Okay, ready for number 2? In 1902, a silent movie was made that is often credited as being the first ever sci-fi movie. What was it called and who produced it? That's 2 points. 1 point for question 1, 2 points for this one.
Did Bruce Willis play in that film?
Probably.
I had to plug him in somehow.
He's old
Saving
enough.
us for a long time.
So I'll just quickly read that again in case anyone didn't hear it. So in 1902, a silent movie was made that is often credited as the first ever sci-fi film. What was the film called and who produced it? So my final question, which astronomer appeared on the Scottish £10 note that was issued in 2017?
Ooh.
1 point.
Scottish astronomer, you said?
No, just astronomer.
Oh,
But it was a Scottish £10 note.
Oh, Scottish £10 note, right. Okay.
Yeah. So it was issued in 2017, Scottish £10 note. There was an astronomer who appeared on it. Who was that?
I'm sorry, what year again?
2017. I think it's still in circulation.
You'd hope so. Okay. Thank you so much, Mary. Great questions. And now over to Daz.
Oh, hang on a minute. I've lost my questions. Oh, here we are. Right, just a quick one to start with. How old is all the hydrogen in the universe? How old is all the hydrogen in the universe? That's 1 point. Okay. Question 2. Now this starts like a Dickens novel. Oxford, the year 1967. It was the best of times. It was the worst. No, I won't go on. A young postgraduate student sits in an attic scanning miles of chart recorder data from the interplanetary scintillation array. The student spots a small signal which nobody has ever seen before in the data. What was that signal discovering? What type of astronomical object was discovered? And also, who was the student? That's for 2 points. That's 2 parts.
Thank you.
Right. And my last question. November 1974, a message was broadcast out into the space towards the globular cluster M13, also known as the Great Globular Cluster in Hercules, which is 25,000 light years away. from the largest radio telescope in the world at the time. Can you name the radio dish that was used to broadcast the signal? And B, who created the message? That's another 2. That's me done.
Thank you very much, Daz. Thank you. We will, of course, have a very brief recap of all of these questions at the end. For the recap, I would ask the panel to tell us the total number of points for their questions so that we have a grand total at the end. And if somebody's got a piece of pen and paper handy, piece of pen and paper, piece of paper and a pen, if somebody's got that handy, perhaps somebody on the panel will be good enough to add all the points up at the end to give us a total. I haven't got anything handy that I can write with, unfortunately.
I think at the moment we got 24 points. I could be wrong, but
now I'm really dreading this. Those of you who listen to us a lot on Astro Radio in the days before Space Oddities will be aware that Roger did a quiz on Astro Radio that has gone down in legend as being possibly the hardest astronomy quiz ever broadcast anywhere in the world, ever. And this was well beyond PhD level. This was sort of like PhD on steroids, in my humble opinion. But it was good fun, which is all that matters, of course. So it is with some trepidation that I say to Roger, please give us your questions and please be gentle with us.
Nobody's going to play with you, Roger. I want you to know if you don't.
Well, it just so happens that I'm using 3 of the questions from that quiz.
Oh no! Right, bye.
These are the easy ones.
Roger's gone. Technical problem. Roger's gone.
Yeah, take Roger down now.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Question number 1. What is the name of the largest known star?
Oh, yes.
Is it visible from Sparkford?
Probably. Right. Okay. Question number 2. For quite a few points, name the 7 stars of the asterism Winter Circle.
Oh.
Quite appropriate for this time of year.
Yes.
Was that a point for each, Rog?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
7 stars in the winter asterism of Circle. Okay. The easiest one of the 3, in my opinion. What is the name of the and also its distance with a planet? And
with the planets, distance. Right. Nearest star with the planet and its distance. Right. Thank you, Roger. Well, that wasn't as bad as I had been fearing. So thank you for those. And Chris says he thought it was a pentagon, not a circle. So are you misleading us here, Roger?
Depends how good you are at drawing.
Of course, if it's a pentagon, it would have 5 stars. Okay. Yes. All right, then. So we're going to do a very brief recap on the questions. And if I'd ask the panel to move through these fairly quickly, and if somebody could write down the total number of points, that would be absolutely fantastic. My 3 questions are worth a point each, so that's easy. I'll make it easy like that. Okay, so question 1, where's the coldest place yet measured in the solar system? The coldest place yet measured in the solar system, is it the Moon, Triton, Pluto, or Uranus? Question 2, what links the following? The Harlington Straker Film Studios, Kenneth Arnold, Devil's Tower, Wyoming, and the Mall in Washington, D.C. And question 3, how many moons of Jupiter are there? 1 point for each. And I should say how many moons of Jupiter are known at the moment, because it changes. 1 point for each, so my total is 3 points. Rachel.
Okay, my first question was, which moon phase would follow a waxing crescent? Which moon phase would follow a waxing crescent? And that's for 1 point. Second question was, the IAU broke up Argo Navis into 4 parts. Can you name all 4? So that's a point for each. So 4 points for that one. And Sirius is the brightest star, but which is the second brightest? And that's for 1 point.
So your total is
6 points.
6 points. And can we have the votes of the Belgian jury, please? Oh, sorry, wrong program. Bernard.
He's asleep, isn't he?
Yeah.
No, I muted myself. Numerous surface features on Titan are named after great works of science fiction and fantasy. Which author did not have his work chosen? A is Tolkien, B is Frank Herbert, C is Arthur C. Clarke. That's for 1 point. Second question is, what is the name of the spacecraft that whizzed by the moon Triton? Is it A, New Horizons, B, Pioneer 11, C, Voyager 2? That's for 1 point again. And question number 3, Ceres is the largest asteroid in the asteroid belt. How much of the estimated total mass of the asteroid belt does it represent? Is it A, 25%, B, 40%, C, 55%? And that's for 1 point again.
Thank you. Lou.
My 3 questions are worth 1 point each. The first is, how many moons does Saturn have? Does it have 32, 75, or 83? The second question is, what is the primary constituent of Titan's atmosphere? Is it nitrogen, carbon dioxide, or methane? The last question, Einstein was once asked, how does it feel to be the smartest person in the world? He said, I don't know. Go ask, was it Marie Curie, Nikola Tesla, or Richard Feynman? Each worth 1 point.
Thank you very much. Mary.
Okay. Question 1 was, who was the first female astronomer to discover a comet? That was 1 point. In 1902, a silent movie was made that is often credited as being the first ever sci-fi film. What was it called and who produced it? That's for 2 points. And finally, which astronomer appeared on the Scottish £10 note that was issued in 2017? That's 1 point. So a total of 4 points for my round.
Thank you very much. Daz.
Okay, then. The quick one. How old is all the hydrogen in the universe? That's for 1 point. Oxford, the year 1907, a young postgraduate student sits in an attic scanning miles of current chart recorder data from the interplanetary scintillation array. The student spots a small signal never seen before in the data. Question A was, what was what astronomical object was that the discovery of? And question B, who was that student? That was for 2 points. My third question was, in November 1974, a message was broadcast out into space towards a globular cluster M13, which is also known as the Great Globular Cluster in Hercules, which is 25,000 light years away. It was broadcast from the largest radio dish in the world at the time. What was the name of that radio dish, and who created the message? Again, that was 2 points, so it was a total of 5.
Great, thank you very much. Total of 5 for Daz. And lastly, Roger.
Right. Okay, my 3 questions are, number 1, the name of the largest known star. Second one, which has got 7 stars, which is the asterism called the Winter Circle. Which are the 7 stars which make up the asterism Winter Circle? And the final one, what is the name of the nearest star with the planet and also its distance?
And how many points in total?
So we have 9 points.
So that's 7 for the asterism and
1 each for
one each
questions
for the
1
others.
and 3.
Okay, great. Thank you all very much indeed. Right, so we move on to the answers. And if you have any questions, any question you missed, please put it in the live chat now. If you've missed any questions, anybody miss anything?
So just checking on Roger's last question, was that not a 2-point question?
Wow.
The star and the distance?
Yeah, we'll go for 2 points on that.
All right.
So that's a 10 then.
Try to be too mean.
That's a 10. Okay, nobody's put in the chat that they've missed any, so we'll go straight to the answers. Hope you've enjoyed yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Before we start going through the answers, please do like and subscribe to our channel. It would be much appreciated. Likes, subscriptions are so important to enable us to grow as a channel. So please, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. It's totally free, of course. Hit the notification icon, hit the like button, and we will be forever in your debt, because it's very important for us to grow and get YouTube to notice us more if we have likes and subscriptions. So anyway, my question 1, where's the coldest place yet measured in the solar system? Was it the Moon, Triton, Pluto, or Uranus? And do the panel know the answer to that one?
Triton.
It's actually the Moon. It's actually the Moon, believe it or not. NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter has measured the temperature at the bottom of a crater at the Moon's south pole and found it to be minus 240 Celsius. And just to compare the others, Triton at minus 235, Pluto at minus 232, and Uranus at minus 224. So believe it or not, at the moment, the coldest known place in the solar system is in a crater at the south pole of the Moon. So absolutely true. Surprising that, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Question 2. What links the following? Harlington Straker Film Studios, Kenneth Arnold, Devil's Tower, Wyoming, and the Mall in Washington, D.C. Now, I wonder if any of the panel got this one.
I did, only because you told me.
Yeah, you can be quiet, because I told you. Anybody?
Is it Star Trek?
Okay.
I don't know.
Was it?
No.
Are they all in the same latitude?
No. Okay, this one is a bit devious. The Harlington Straker Film Studios was a front for the secret government organization Shadow in Jerry Anderson's UFO series. So I think you might have to be of a certain age to remember that. The second one is Kenneth Arnold was the American who first coined the term flying saucers in 1947, after he saw something that he described as flying saucers. Devil's Tower in Wyoming was, of course, the setting in the film Close Encounters of the Third Kind, where all the UFOs land. Well, they didn't actually land, they hovered above the ground, but same thing. So it was UFOs in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And the Mall in Washington, D.C. was where the flying saucer landed in the 1951 film The Day the Earth Stood Still. So the link between all those is flying saucers, and I'll let you have UFOs as well. So there you are.
I'm nominating you for the hardest questions. Roger, you're relieved of duty.
Thank you very much.
I wonder if anybody got that. I just thought we'd have some fun with that. It's what it's all about. And lastly, the number of currently known moons of Jupiter. I'll allow you 3 either way. The current known moons of Jupiter, number 91. So I will allow you 3 either way, 89 or 94. So between 89 and 94. So there you are.
Andy, can you name them? Can you name them?
Yes, I can. Rachel, over to you.
Well done.
Okay, so number 1, which moon phase would follow a waxing crescent? It was the first quarter.
Yes. I knew that.
Number 2, the IOU broke apart Navis into 4 separate parts. Can you name all 4? It obviously did represent a ship, a sail ship. So you've got Puppis or Pupis at the stern, Vela, which represents the sails, Carina, which represents the keel, and Pyxis, which represents the mariner's compass. So you could have had a point for Puppis or Pupis, Vela, Carina, and Pyxis.
Okay, can I just stop you there?
Okay.
Is anybody else hearing a problem with Rachel's sound?
Yeah.
A bit crackly,
she's breaking up.
Yeah.
Right.
Crackly and really fast.
Yeah. And I
Very
think we're struggling with bandwidth again.
I will type them
So
down. Can you hear that?
A little scratchy.
Yeah, the
I'll read number
sound.
3, but I'll type them down. So number 3 was Sirius is the brightest star, which is the second, and the answer was Canopus, which is a star
Canopus,
in the
right.
constellation Carina.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much. And, okay. Bernard.
Yes. How do I sound? Is it okay?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. So first question was the works of science fiction and fantasy on Titan. Which author did not have his work chosen? So it was Arthur C. Clarke. Answer C. Arthur C. Clarke's works were not chosen as surface features on Titan.
I wonder whether there's any specific reason for that. Did he upset somebody?
I don't know the backstory about that.
No,
It's a good question. It's a good question. Question number 2, which is an easy one. Which spacecraft flew by Triton? And that was, of course, Voyager 2. Answer C. Question number 3 is what is the estimated total mass of the asteroid belt represented by Ceres? And that was answer B, 40%. Ceres represents 40% of the total weight of the total mass of the asteroid belt.
Great. Thank you. Okay. Lou.
First question, how many moons does Saturn have? Plus or minus 3? And the answer is 83.
83. There you are.
Jupiter and Saturn kind of go back and forth with who has the most, but 83. Second question, staying with Saturn, the Saturn system, what is the primary constituent of Titan's atmosphere? And the answer is nitrogen.
Great.
Last question, Einstein was asked, how does it feel to be the smartest person in the world? And he said, I don't know, go ask Tesla.
Yeah, thought so. Okay. Thank you very much. Great. Mary.
Okay, the first female astronomer to discover a comet was Maria Winkelmann-Kirsch. It was credited to her husband because women were not allowed to log discoveries in 1702 when that was discovered, but she discovered it. It's in the paperwork. The second question, the 1902 silent movie credited as being the first sci-fi movie is Le Voyage dans la Lune, A Trip to the Moon by Georges Méliès.
Got it.
So 2 points. And finally, astronomer that appeared on the Scottish £10 note issued in 2017 was Mary Somerville.
Mary, could I just ask you to repeat the name of the astronomer, the first female astronomer to discover the comet?
Maria Winkelmann-Kirsch.
Right, thank you.
Wife of Gottfried Kirch.
Right. Sorry, there was a bit, from my end, there was a bit of a crackle on the sound when you said her name, so I just want to make sure it was clear. Okay, great. Thank you very much. That's great. Daz.
Oh, sorry. I was well away there.
Wakey.
How old is all the hydrogen in the universe? Well, of course, it was formed just after the Big Bang, so it's 13.8 billion years, give or take a few thousand years. The Oxford... the Oxford student... the object that was found by the Oxford student sitting in an attic was pulsars. And the student was Jocelyn Bell, who is now Dame Jocelyn Bell Burnell. So that was a point for each on that one. November 1974, the message that was broadcast to M13 was broadcast from the Arecibo Observatory, and they use the Arecibo dish. Of course, it's not there anymore. And the person who created the message was Frank Drake, who we lost quite recently. And of course, with it being 25,000 years away, it's going to take 50,000 years for the message to come back. And if they hit call sender, of course, they won't find anyone because the Arecibo no longer exists. That's mine.
And the other point was, if you remember what I was saying a couple of weeks ago, it's unlikely that globular clusters contain rocky planets because they don't have sufficient heavy elements. So it was a bit of a waste of time in the first place sending a message to a globular cluster.
Yeah, well, it was a proof of concept. It wasn't actually
absolutely.
A true test to try and contact ET. But of course, talking about ET, the on the first question about the pulsars, the actual letters that were assigned to the pulsar were LGM, which was little green men. So of course there was a bit of a link there with aliens.
Of course, great.
I think she regretted putting that for the rest of her life.
Yeah,
she did.
Exactly.
She did. Yeah. Okay, lastly but not leastly, of course, Roger.
Hey. Right, the name of the largest known star. Let's see if Rachel's got this right. And the answer is UY Scuti. UY Scuti.
UY Scuti, SCUTI, UY Scuti, of course, which is a phenomenally huge star.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyway, right.
Right, thank you very much.
7 stars of the Winter Circle asterism
Here we go.
Castor, Pollux, Capella, Aldebaran, Rigel, Sirius, and Procyon.
Can you just repeat those?
Castor, Pollux, Capella, Aldebaran, Rigel, Sirius, and Procyon.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Okay, did anybody get a total of how many points we're looking for in total?
I think it was 34.
34 points. There we are.
And the final question.
Oh, sorry, I'd forgotten your final one. Yeah, go on.
Nearest star with the planet and its distance, Proxima Centauri, 4.2 light years.
Proxima Centauri, 4.2 light years. Thank you very much, Roger. So there you are. There we have it. We got to the end of the quiz. We'll just give you a little while to add your points up. Put them in the live chat, and we do rely on your honesty, obviously. And let's see how we did. We've got some points coming through now. In the lead is Bernard, but you don't count.
I'm not counting my questions, of course.
So there we are. Let's see how many we have. Okay. Well, we hope you enjoyed the quiz.
We have Derek.
It's always fun.
Derek's got 5 points.
Derek's got 5. Okay. Any advance on 5? Let's just wait and see.
Mary with 14. Kev with 14.
I don't know what Kevin. He's just got points.
Points with a grimace. Yes.
Stuart's got 8. Kevin are at 14. Graham Turvey 8. Steve Wall 21 for Steve. And Michael Murphy, we got a tie. 21. Chris Reardon 10.
Oh, we do have a tie.
Oh, hang on, Jerry Delay's got 22. Yeah, Jerry Delay's got 22, and then Graham Turvey 8, and he's happy with that, which is good. Anybody who's got anything is brilliant. Anne done 17, that's good.
Oh, well done.
Well, they got about 17. She didn't keep track. Someone's got a dodgy keyboard, they said, yeah.
Well done,
oh, Kevin's got a dodgy keyboard. So at the moment, we've got Jerry Delay. Chris O'Riordan, I think are you still waiting for your calendar? Can you just drop us a line on spaceodditieslive.com, please? Just to make sure you see if we got it or not. We'll sort it out.
Yeah, spaceodditieslive@gmail.com will find us. Let us know, because we do want to sort this out for you, Chris, obviously. Okay.
So we've still got Mr. Delay. He's the top with 22.
Astro Nebulae says, thank you for the quiz, peeps. I shall have to go and sit in a darkened room and mop my brow with a wet edition of the Sky at Night magazine. So...
Kinky.
Have fun, Astro. Okay. Yes. Derek says, with regards to Roger's quiz on Astro Radio, my quiz finished Astro Radio. Indeed. If you remember Derek's. Yes. It was good, though, Derek. It was all good fun. So, Chris says he's got his calendar.
That's great. If anybody else is still waiting for a calendar, let us know, please.
Right. Okay,
That's great.
Well,
a non-calendar, isn't it? Sorry.
Okay. Well, it looks like all the points have come in, so I think we need to declare a winner, and I believe that the winner of the Space Oddities Astro Quiz is Jerry Delay.
Drum roll.
Drum roll for Jerry, and well done, Jerry. If anybody's got more than 22 who hasn't put their points in the chat now, you should really, really do it now before we formally declare Jerry the winner.
Can I just say, given how hard this quiz was, I am absolutely impressed at 22. What an amazing!
I'm very impressed with that as well. So well done, Jerry. Well
Michael
done. Murphy
Murphy and Steve Warvis just behind with 21. Fantastic.
Yeah, well done,
in
guys.
fact, well done, everybody. Well done, everyone.
A round of applause from the panel, I think, for everybody. Thank you so much for all taking part. Jerry, send us an address where you would like your Titan poster sent, and we will pop it in the post to you. Of course, with the Royal Mail being the way it is at the moment, we're not quite sure when you'll get it, but we will put it in the post. So just drop us an email at spaceodditieslive@gmail.com. You've got the address, and just let us know where you would like the poster sent. And it will be packaged in a proper cardboard tube, so keep an eye out for it.
Yeah.
And Daz will get that off to you. So thanks for doing that, Daz. And there we are. And I think that brings us to the end of this evening's proceedings. Sorry to Michael, who was here earlier but has disappeared and hasn't reappeared. I do hope he didn't have any bad technical problems. Thank you all for being here. Thanks again to our sponsor, Rother Valley Optics, and make sure you visit their stand at the Astrofest in February. We will be back, of course, next week with more fun and frolics from the world of astronomy. Until then, we'd like to wish you a fantastic week. Thank you so much for taking part in the quiz tonight. Good luck, Astro Dog, with your event. It looks like you've got some really interesting stuff coming up. So I hope everybody supports you. And does anybody on the panel wish to say anything before we close for the evening?
No, that's fine. Well done, everybody, for taking part and sticking with us.
Yeah.
Next time you could be top dog.
Yes, indeed. Top Astro Dog, in fact, as we're on the theme.
Yeah.
So,
yes, exactly. Yeah. Boom, boom.
Okay. So thank you particularly to our friends in Ireland. Thank you, Astronomy Ireland, for letting us invade your Facebook page with Space Oddities. Thank you again for that. And good to see some of you here tonight. And I think that's about it. So we'll wrap things up for this evening. We'll be back soon. And thank you so much for your continued support. It does mean a lot to us. So from all of us here at Space Oddities, we will wish you a very good evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye all.